sixpence.
That's stress, man. More salt than pepper, huh?
A lot of pepper and salt together.
You guys are making me old. Got this lovely table here. I'm going to hit like 25 times. We are live.
We know. That's why we were talking about you.
All right. Let us know when you're switching screens. All right. I think we're good. Welcome to the podcast. I think it's number 36, Tracy, isn't it?
35.
35. No, 35 was the last one.
You got listed 35.
Oh, I made a mistake.
You made a mistake.
I gotta have some kind of drama. I don't really need these glasses tonight because I don't got no screen to look at.
What does that say, Aaron?
35.
35. You know what? That was the original, what we were going to do. Anyway, welcome to the Iron Pony Life podcast number 36.
We'll go 36.
Okay, last week was 35. And we're at the great dealership of Ride NKY. And we got Aaron here representing them. And then we got our buddy Les here tonight. And we'll introduce you a little bit more because we got some new viewers now since then.
Oh, good.
And as you look behind us, we got some beautiful bikes back here. We're going to test ride some of them. Just kidding. All right, so welcome to the podcast, everyone. Hey, Todd, how you doing? Welcome. My wife doesn't have a mic tonight, so next week we'll bring Tracy's podcaster, so that way we can have two mics there, and then you can actually talk at the same time too.
Oh.
Yeah, we have like 8 people now.
Yeah, we can have up to 8, yep.
Yep. So next week is going to be fun. Aaron doesn't know it yet, but he's got to dress up. So
Yeah, it's going to be a Halloween
he's got to have
party.
a wig or something.
We're having a Halloween
Put my
party next
costume
week.
on.
Yeah, it's our Halloween night. He can be normal, I guess. I guess he could be a salesman at the dealership.
Yeah, I guess. I could be a motorcycle rider and just have a helmet.
So what kind of candy are you going to be bringing, Tracy? Because I like Heath bars.
I was hoping he was going to supply the candy.
Where do you even find Heath bars?
I can find them at Walmart. Yeah. It is kind of hot here. We're going to turn the air conditioner on again. It is kind of cold out there, though, and we're going to be talking about something like that. It's going to be colder in a couple weeks.
Yeah. It's going to be cold tonight. I think we got a frost warning out tonight, I believe.
Yep.
All right, so Tracy, tell a little bit about yourself.
Huh?
Go ahead and tell a little bit about yourself. Go ahead.
Everybody knows me by now.
No. We got new people all the time.
Well, if you don't know me, my name's Tracy. I love motorcycles like no other.
How many bikes you got?
Right now, just 2.
Okay, and little history of what the bikes?
I've had up to 13 bikes over the last 5 or 6 years, and I enjoy riding.
Enjoy riding. All right, Aaron.
A little about myself?
Yeah, introduce yourself.
Scooter Man. We'll call
Yeah,
you
I'm
Scooter Man.
Scooter Man. Rode my scooter tonight. No, I work here at the dealer, Ride NKY, salesperson here. Been here for 4 years now. First sales job. So prior to that, I was a mechanic, not here, mostly on cars. But outside of work, riding is pretty much what consumes me, and that's why I like doing this all day, every day. I can pretty much talk bikes all the time.
Yep.
Yes, you can.
All right, Les.
Well, I'm Les. I've been riding since 1986. Do most of my own maintenance on the bike. I get out every chance that I possibly can, and I'm still looking for that one gig where I can make a living riding a motorcycle. I just haven't found it yet.
Hey, they're hiring.
We'll talk.
All right, so my name is Chris. I'm part of the Iron Pony Life venture here.
You're the owner of Iron Pony Life.
Pretty
Get it
much.
out there. Get
the host,
it right.
the host with the most of the equipment. But I've been riding for at least 5 years, I think, and I've been riding Indian and I think it was a Balkan S, my first bike, and I did go to Harley Davidson school back in the day. Yeah, I know, but it was a good class because I learned a lot because I jumped right on that bike as soon as I got it. So I have to give them some props.
They taught you well, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they did. All right, so let's get started tonight. So, anything going on? I mean, at Indian or anything?
Getting ready to transition to 25 model year. Haven't announced anything official yet. It'll probably be officially announced in November, so look out for that.
Yeah, give us a date. Maybe I can come here if it's on a. Well, you know what?
I don't have a date offhand. They usually announce like first week of November, and I have no idea what to expect. Some models are kind of long in the tooth, so I think we're going to see some updates. beyond just colors. And I think there might be some exciting new stuff coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, I know Brian went down there from the Cleveland chapter, and he said he saw a sneak peek of one of the elites, and he said it was awesome. He can't say anything. He had to sign an NAD or whatever you call it. But he just said it was awesome, and everybody's going to be pretty excited about that bike.
Yep.
So, yeah, other than that, so Les, what do you got to talk about tonight, huh?
Well,
Put you on the spot.
Well, the theme of the podcast is, pretty much how to winterize your bike, or some of the
Yep.
things that you should probably do to your bike if you really want to pull it out of the garage, hit the start button, and go next spring. If you plan on a long winter sleep for your machine, there's some things you really need to do to get it ready for that. Make sure that it's ready to go in the spring. So,
I did make a mistake there. My wife is also, Heather's right next to her. So Heather is here, Les's wife. So I want to introduce her too. So I didn't want to make her feel left out. So other than that, so yeah, we're talking about winterizing stuff.
Hey, Heather.
I know I didn't want her to get like, oh my God, he just. I mean, I get kind of nervous sometimes when I do this stuff, so I forget.
I
people.
know. I need to help you.
I can't
out,
remember
man.
names.
I'm not nervous. Are you nervous, Aaron?
I feel great.
I feel good. We're good over here.
I feel kinda
Unless you feel
hot.
good.
I'm feeling pretty
So
good. Yeah.
Chris, relax, man. We're good.
I'm relaxing. I'm relaxing. All right. So winterizing. This is really my first year of my motorcycle. I'm not going to be riding in the winter. Last year I just had it in the garage and I just put a battery tender on it. But I heard there's a lot more stuff you got to do to these things. And I know Aaron and Les has got the
lowdown on it.
The lowdown because
Yeah.
they've been here, and I know he'll talk about the dealership side of things, and then Les will talk about what they do at home. You know.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
So go ahead, get started.
Well, personally, one of the first things that I do before I put my bike away is give it a thorough washing and a good wax. Really kind of key. Get the grime off of there, get the grease and oils and things off. You don't want anything sitting on there that's going to cause any type of corrosion, things like that, over the winter. It's essential. Get the bugs and things off. Some of that stuff can actually eat into your paint, cause some spots in your paint, some tree saps, things like that. Get it good and clean. Get a good wax onto it. I've used several different products. We've got a few things here on the table. I believe we've got original bike spirits here. That's actually a very good product. It's very easy to use. Get a microfiber, shoot it on there, wipe her down, and then buff it, and it comes out really, really nice and shiny. Protects your paint, and it also helps keep it clean. A lot of the dust and things will clean right up and come off a lot easier when you have that wax on there.
Nice.
This is one of my personal favorites. What I like a lot about this product is, say in the wintertime, you've already put the garden hose away, everything's frozen. You don't necessarily need water for this product. So you can spot detail in between that big wash before you put it away. Yeah. And then while it's away, if it gets dusty, you can wipe it down. It's kind of a nice little product. It's handy.
Nice. So, what about engine treatment? Do you do anything for engine treatment or anything like that, or?
Like changing oil?
Yeah, changing oil and stuff like that.
Absolutely. So, what a lot of people don't understand or maybe realize is that, oil just does not lubricate your engine only. It has several other functions. It helps carry heat away from the engine internal components. It also helps clean the engine. Hopefully, it's going to pick up all kinds of particulate matter, going to carry it away, take it to the filter, and keep it away from the internal parts of your engine. Keep it from wearing prematurely, things like that. One of the other big things, or one benefit from motor oil, is that it has an acid neutralizing quality, or an alkalinity to it. And what they do with engine oils, they start out with what's called a total base number, and that base number will dictate how well the oil can act in the engine and prevent corrosion, neutralize acids, those kinds of things. So, most people will go, I don't have any acid in my engine. Well, yes, you do. So it's part of the natural combustion process. A lot of the blow-by and things that come through in the engine, you do get some fuel leak down past the rings. Some of the exhaust and things come through there, and it does cause some acidic conditions within the oil. And over a period of time, that additive package will break down. And the oil will lose its ability to some level to protect your engine against corrosion and the attack from that. So one of the things that I do before I put the bike away, fresh oil change. If I only have a couple thousand miles on it, I change the oil. It's very cheap insurance. You're going to get on it in the spring, hit the button, and rock and roll down the road. You're not going to have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, even if you don't hit the mileage, the other interval recommendation is time, and that's typically annually. So if you don't hit the mileage interval, you should be changing your oil annually anyways, and you can make that annual change right there before you put it away for winter.
Which makes sense. That's the time to do it. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do mine. So
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do now.
I'm actually making an appointment for mine next week. So
Yeah. And here at the dealership, I know they have a whole entire box kit. If you want to do it yourself, it's like $119 for the Challenger oil kit. Comes with the oil filter, or the seal for the oil plug, and the I think it's 5 quarts of oil.
right.
This
Now,
synthetic
unless you
stuff.
do your own, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So, one little caveat to that, if you are working on one of the Indian 111s, 116s, they're a little bit unique in the process where you change the oil. So make sure that you follow the process.
Break in.
Yes, well, several good YouTube videos too. And then when you put the oil in, there's an amount that you put in. You have to run the engine for a period of time, put the rest of the oil in, then there's a procedure to check it. So make sure that you follow that.
Yep. I know Indian has great videos for that. I mean, it's almost like one
Yeah, they do.
steps. It's like they made these videos just for doing that if you want to do it yourself. So they're pretty great resource. So you can find that on the Indian motorcycle website.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and two, a lot of people, they'll go out and they'll try to shop around and they'll say, I can save $1 a quart on this other oil. And, it may or may not be the spec oil that you need for your engine. I like to call them designer oils, but the manufacturers really design the oils to work in the engine, in the application for which they're designed. So, when you start to vary from that, you could cause yourself some problems. Just use the spec oil that's recommended by the manufacturer and save yourself some trouble down the road.
I always say about that in regards to it, because I get a lot of customers asking me, what oils do I recommend? I always say, look, I'm sure a lot of those other oils are great oils, and I'm sure they work well. But what I know works is what the manufacturer recommends. I don't have to second guess it. I don't have to worry about it. It's just peace of mind, and I'll pay $1 extra for peace of mind. So that to me just makes all kinds of sense.
Well, and I mean, these people design these bikes. They test this stuff out. They know what they're, there's a reason why it's the recommended oil, So
I know when we did your bike, we put 020 in yours.
you got problems, man.
Sewing machine oil.
That 3-in-1 oil.
Yeah,
it worked
it was
great,
3-in-1.
man.
Yeah. So now here's a question for you, Les. Do you believe in stabilizers and using stabilizers right before the winter? Do you put that into as well, or?
Yeah, absolutely do. Absolutely do. Again, that's cheap insurance for your fuel delivery system. You can eliminate a lot of things. Clogged injectors. Any other fuel issues that you can possibly think of. It only takes, I think, about an ounce of that fuel stabilizer for like 2.5 or 3 gallons of gas. It is not much at all.
So it's literally a little bit like a small cup.
Yeah, very, very small amount. And I use it in all of the engines that I have, my lawn mowers and things like that. If it's a small engine and it's a 4-stroke, it's going to get the stabilizer put in it. And at the end of the year, into the winter, I actually put it in my snowblower and run my snowblower out with a stabilizer in it.
Just to clear that off.
So conversely, I use it over the summer for a piece of equipment that's going to sit, and conversely over the winter for something that's going to sit. Absolutely.
Now, you just like, I get confused with this stuff, man. I know some people do too. So the directions here, you put, is it a full tank that you put it in, or is it half tank, or just where it's barely, you're almost empty?
Well, what I
do
like
you
to do, I like to fill my tank all the way up, because then I know how much gas is in it.
Yep.
And then I use a recommended amount for the gallons of gas that I have.
Okay, good. Because I always get confused with that stuff. I can read the directions on the back.
Tracy will help you out if you get too mixed up.
Yeah, I'll help him out.
But I know a lot of people out there just like me.
He needs help.
We need, I don't read text very well, but I read pictures very well, and the picture shows me just pouring it in a thing.
What's funny about that stuff?
Heather, you see what we got.
Well, the thing of it is, if you do use too much, I think the recommended solution is to redilute the fuel with some clean fuel. So I don't think that it's overly harmful if you do use a bit too much, but
you'd still want to go with what it tells you.
use what they recommend.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Aaron?
What I find funny about these products is depending on how many engines you're treating, I've had a bottle of this stuff when I'm only treating like 1 or 2 engines last me literally years.
Oh, you should.
So
Yeah,
it's
based on what he's
it's a
saying.
product that's like buy it once, you'll have it for a long time. It'll serve you well, and it'll
does
last
what
you
you
many
need,
winters.
And all these products they sell here at the dealership, by the way.
But you don't have to buy here necessarily. They do sell these things at your local auto zones,
Yep.
auto parts stores, even gas stations have that stuff. I recommend it for definitely any carbureted engines, and then any engines that are going to sit for more than about 2 months. If they sit for more than that, then you want to stabilize the fuel in the tank.
Gotcha.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, another important thing that I was reading about is the tires. You know, and this might sound like a dumb question, but do you move your bikes around just to keep it from sitting on the same spot, leaned
Yes.
over?
Yeah, multiple times throughout the winter, I'll go up and I'll push the bike forward about a foot, then I'll roll it back about 2 feet the next time.
And kind of just keep that.
Yeah, absolutely do. Keep it from sitting on one spot. Some people actually put their bikes up on axle lifts and lift the tires up off the ground. I can't do that. I don't have the equipment to do that. But one thing that I do pretty much all winter long, and Heather can tell you this, if it's a sunshiny day, I'll get that bike out and I'll go ride it somewhere.
Just to get it.
Just to get it out,
Yeah.
circulate the oil back through the engine, and just keep everything in good operating order. So the whole flat spotting of the tire pretty much isn't the problem in my garage because the
Yeah.
bike's moving a lot anyway.
A trick from the automotive side of things, when cars are shipped to dealers, they normally your tire pressure recommendations are somewhere 35 pounds of air in a car tire.
Give or take. Yeah.
When they come in from the manufacturer, they come in with like 50 pounds of air in the tire, and that's to prevent flat spotting during transport.
Oh, okay.
So that's a trick you can do with a motorcycle as well.
Overinflate a
is
little
you
bit.
overinflate slightly. You don't need to go up to 50 pounds.
No,
That's a little
gotcha.
absurd.
Gotcha.
I would say go 5 pounds over the recommended.
Okay.
But you'll need to remember to check your tires before you go ahead
You
and
might
start
need
riding
to
the bike.
Might need to release a little bit of air too.
Yep. So that's a trick to help prevent flat spots.
So like with my Royal Enfield, I have that center stand. Would you recommend that I keep it on that center stand throughout the winter?
For me, it really depends on the type of tire you're running. For the type of tires that you're probably running on your Royal Enfield, I wouldn't feel like elevating the tire would be super necessary.
It's not a thing.
If you're running like a very aggressive sport bike tire, they're very susceptible to deformation because of the cold. So those I do recommend elevating.
Okay.
And I've even seen race motorcycle tires. They're prone to something called cold cracking, where the rubber actually cracks from freezing. So that's when you get into super soft compound tires, race tires and whatnot. For those, I actually take race tires and store them inside my house.
I was going to say, it sounds like you'd be better off to take them off.
You
Yeah.
have to,
Yeah.
unless they're expensive and
Right.
you don't want them to do that. so.
Right.
All right. We do have some comments, questions, I guess, right?
Yeah, Todd Morris. I don't know if you guys answered it or not.
I hadn't seen it. Sorry.
He was looking for a recommended fuel treatment name brand.
That you prefer?
Yeah.
Anything you prefer?
I know Staybill's one.
Yeah.
Of
Stay,
I use
Stable
Stay-Bill.
is who I
Yeah.
normally use. This is the stuff that we sell here. And to be honest, I don't.
Helix or something?
Helix. It's probably something that we get through one of our suppliers. Stay-Bill is kind of like an industry staple when it comes to fuel stabilizers. But this is just a competing product. I wouldn't say one's better than the other. They're pretty
Yeah.
equivalent.
Yeah, if anybody's got any questions, please let us know and just put it in the chat, and we will try to answer them as soon as we can. We can actually, that's what you could do, star them, and then we can come back and look at them.
Yeah,
Okay.
Staybill's actually spelled kind of funny. It's STA space BIL, if I remember right.
Yeah, that is correct.
It's,
You're right.
It's an odd spelling.
Gotcha. All right, so another thing I guess we can talk about is, unless Aaron, you got anything real quick or?
No.
Okay. It's talking about batteries. Okay. So I know a Challenger. I know there's an update for the Challenger and the Chieftains right now, where it fixes some battery drain, but I don't think it really matters. What, do you got your phone on still?
I had it turned off, I
Oh,
thought.
you're fired. I need a new co-host. There's the door. See you later. Anyway, back in there, the battery. What do you guys do with your battery? I do have mine on there, but I've been reading. Mine actually has nonstop. It's on a charger. What do you call them things called? What's it?
Trickle charger.
Trickle charger. Oh, not a charger, but it's like
Maintainer.
maintainer. So it maintains it. But a lot of people say that you shouldn't have it on all the time. You should go out there every week and plug it back in and off.
So these new smart maintainers like this one right here, and usually if you're paying, I would say if you're around the price point of $40 or higher, you're probably dealing with a smart battery maintainer. It's going to cycle like that for you naturally. You can leave it plugged in literally all winter and it's fine. Old school stuff or cheap stuff below that $40 price point, that's when you're going to run into, yes, you should do on and off. I rotate battery tenders in my house. I shouldn't say battery tender, that's a name brand, but I rotate my battery maintainers at my house simply because that's our door chime. Simply because I don't have enough battery maintainers for the amount of bikes that I'm rotating it on.
Right.
Yeah. I don't have that problem at home yet, but probably will at some point in time. No, that's actually a very good comment about the battery maintainer. There are some old chargers there are trickle chargers, and they will continuously apply a charge to your battery, and they can overcharge your battery and cause damage to your battery. One of the reasons it's so important to get a battery maintainer is that it brings it to a full charge, which is really what you want. And then it monitors the battery, and as it starts to deplete or start to approach a discharge state, it'll automatically kick on and bring it back up to a full charge level. Once it senses that again, it stops charging, it monitors the battery, and then we'll charge it as needed. So very, very important. So and the other thing too is a lot of people, I'll just throw it in the garage and I won't worry about it. And, they come out next spring and their battery's dead. One of the worst things that you can possibly do to any kind of a lead acid battery is to let it sit dead for any period of time. There's a natural process in there called sulfation. There's actually a lead sulfate crystal that'll grow on the lead grids inside of the battery. Wow. And what that does is it depletes the battery's ability or decreases the battery's ability to, one, take a charge, and then two, to provide power over time and provide it consistently. And each time that a battery is discharged, the amount of sulfation increases and the capacity of the battery decreases. So it doesn't take too many cycles of charge-discharge to sulfate a battery to the point where it will not perform, especially in some of these motorcycles, with what they require. Some of the new Indians and things have, a very, very high draw and use a lot of electrical accessories and things like that. So your battery is highly tasked to begin with, and then you zap it and you take away 20% of its capacity to provide the power that you need, and it just can't do it. So you have to replace the battery.
So what do you think about these new lithium batteries that they?
Well, you read my mind, man. I was going to say the same thing.
Am I ahead of you?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Okay.
Don't do it.
Well, I will say this. If you deplete a lithium battery and leave it in a discharge state, you can damage that battery as well. You can also, if you provide a constant charge and overcharge the lithium battery, you can damage it that way. So similar, I'll say, characteristics to a lead acid cell, but a little different.
But you're not you don't recommend
So
it?
the reason that I don't recommend a lithium, and this is specific pertaining to Indian motorcycles.
Okay.
The big Indians, anything with infotainment, anything like that. So your Chieftains, Roadmasters, Challengers, Pursuits, bikes along those lines. They are pretty sophisticated, have a lot of computers on board, and their computers like to operate in a very specific voltage range. The lithium batteries actually operate at a higher voltage range. And because of that, it causes all kinds of weird issues, and you'll get check engine lights and stuff like that, all caused from something as silly. Highly recommend you don't put the lithiums in these Indian motorcycles. My experience personally with lithium, I mostly used them in off-road and in racetrack applications because they're lightweight. They're crazy lightweight.
I think that's more what they're designed for. Yeah.
And in those applications, you don't buy them because of their battery performance. You buy them because they're lightweight.
Crazy.
So I'm not necessarily saying that they're a horrible product by any means. They're good when used in the correct application. And these big Indians, anything that is similar to the big Indians, I probably wouldn't recommend it. When you get into very sophisticated motorcycles that have lots of electronic features, I would just stick with a traditional lead acid, an AGM, or a gel battery. And speaking of the different battery types, you need to make sure your battery maintainer is compatible with those battery
Correct.
types. The lithium is the one that sticks out the most.
Right.
It's the one that requires a special battery maintainer.
Yeah, many of the current generation chargers will actually have a setting specifically for lithium. I've noticed a lot of those. You mentioned battery tender a little bit ago, and I was looking at some of the current product lines, and many of those have a selection on there just specifically for lithium.
And some of them will actually auto detect, and it's really cool. But just make sure that it's capable of charging the battery type you have in your bike. And most of the time, if you don't know what battery type you have in your bike, you have a lead acid. Like that's kind of the tried and true go-to. It's what all the manufacturers, they're usually going to come standard with either a lead acid or an AGM, which is activated glass mat, I believe is what the AGM stands for.
Absorbent glass mat.
I was literally just
Yep.
reading about this.
Yeah.
And honestly, the difference between a lead acid and an AGM is very little. They have similar applications. Mainly, you use an AGM if you need to flip the battery sideways. If the manufacturer just can't figure out a way to put the battery in upright, if they have to put it in sideways, that's when they'll use an AGM because they're not liquid filled.
Sure. Fun fact: the absorbent glass mat, the absorbent piece is the mat that actually holds the traditional battery fluid.
Yep.
So an AGM is, in all effects, a lead acid battery. So it'll be susceptible to the same things as a standard flooded lead cell battery would be. Just a little different configuration, still the same process to generate.
Now, see, I was always under the impression that the AGM was designed for bikes with the tech, or even cars with tech.
So
is that correct, or is that?
They've been used in like that application. I remember from cars, it was always like BMWs and things like that would have
Anything
AGM
that had
batteries.
high tech in it, they
But mostly the reason the AGM battery exists so you can turn it sideways.
that's the only reason.
It really is so you can mount it in any configuration.
See, I learn something new every day, man. That's why I love talking to these guys.
Spill proof.
Yeah.
Yep, it's spill proof.
Spill-proof, there
So
we go.
here's a fun fact. Let's see if people will put this into the comments. See if anybody can really tell me what voltage your battery has to get to before it's considered completely discharged in a lead acid cell. What do the viewers think that voltage actually is?
If you give me a minute, I'll let Google tell me.
Oh, come on, no cheating.
Hey, no
Anyone
cheating,
who's-
no
anyone
cheating,
who's
man.
watching
Get out of
the
here.
So then I'm
podcast-
going to tell you I don't know the
All right.
answer.
Todd Morris made a comment here. He says, I know some Harley guy that tried a lithium and they had. Is that your phone? You ever heard of
do.
a silent? I mean,
It's on
turn the
silent.
darn thing off.
I can't.
Oh my gosh, this guy's gone. He's done after this. Tried a lithium battery and they had bad luck with him. And then I've seen some people actually with the new Harleys. They've been trying to put lithiums in there and they break down on the middle of the road. You know, going like 5 miles down. The system hates it. It's like it
Well,
just,
that's what he was just saying, yeah.
Yeah, and lithiums are weird.
Yeah.
They're fine, and then they're completely not fine. Like they just shut off.
Yeah.
There's no warning. There's no like slow crank. It's just like you turn the bike on with the key, and none of the lights come on. Nothing happens. No one's home. You're not going anywhere. And when they do that, a lot of times they won't even jump start. So it's like you're dead in the water at that point.
I mean, a lot of people, it's bad to say this, but people think, new tech is always good tech, and, lithium's the new kid on the block, so I need to get that. It's the best damn battery. It's like going to a motorcycle meet or a show or what do you call it,
Right.
bike night, and pulling up and saying, I got a brand new lithium battery, man. It's the hottest thing on. And be like, and everybody leaves, and he's the one left because his motorcycle won't start.
Oh, yeah.
Just for the record,
Yeah.
no one's ever asked me to show them my battery at any kind of motorcycle ever.
I'm just saying,
Ever.
that's how people look at that tech. I mean,
And
I suppose it could happen.
I think because it comes from the world of racing,
Yeah.
and a lot of folks,
think so.
they get caught up with like the hot new racing component. Like you're going to put cams in your Thunderstroke, and everybody wants to put the race cam in.
hey, Matt.
It's it's honestly like not practical. Like typically the right cam for you would be, kind of a middle of the road, lower end cam. The race stuff is like, it's pretty extreme, which means you're going to have reliability issues, drivability issues, all things like that, just because you're wanting maximum performance.
Gotcha.
Todd had the answer for you.
What's that?
What does he say?
He said 10.5 volts.
10.5 volts.
That's pretty low.
Did he Google that?
I don't know. Todd, did you Google that?
Hey, I got a drone in his house. Hold on. Let me look at the footage. Hold on a second. No, he didn't.
The generally accepted industry standard is 11.6 volts. You're considered completely discharged at about 11.6.
Okay.
So many people think, oh, I got a 12 volt battery, so 11, even 12 volts. Even at 12 volts, you're
The
somewhere
12
around.
O's done.
Yeah, at 12, you're 50 to 60% discharged. And a lot of people think I got a 12 volt battery and I got 12 volts. It's a great thing, and it's not. You're
living at half
past midway
style,
of
yeah.
being discharged. So
Yeah, they're,
11.6.
Hey, can you get this and plug that in right there? Right
All
there.
right.
You need some voltage, dude. You're about to fall asleep.
Let's hook him up.
Hey, so how much one of these costs here? Or what's the average? You said $40,
So
but
40's what I consider 40 is on
Uh-huh.
the low end for a respectable battery maintainer.
yeah, because this is a name brand right here, and
This
a lot
one
of people.
right here, I think is like a fancier one.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, and I think this one's, this one's $96.
Yeah.
That's what this one is.
And Drag Specialties is a lot of people know them because in the motorcycle environment.
And Drag Specialties is they're actually a giant distributor, and they own many a different brands. But Drag Specialties, I don't really mind which brand you prefer, any of that stuff. This is a Drag Specialties branded Optimate. Optimate has a different line of different chargers, ranging in prices. Some chargers can do multiple bikes. But I feel like if you want to be reasonable, as long as you're spending $40 to $50, I think that you're going to end up with a decent charger.
Gotcha. Now I know the one I have at home. I got mine at Costco, and it came in a 2-pack. Because I have 2 bikes. Now some people probably have 8 bikes in their garage. I don't know, like Tracy. But
Yeah, I had to buy extra equipment for that.
I mean, you do, and most bikes come with it, right? A hookup for it?
No,
No.
that's uncommon.
Okay, uncommon?
The Indian motorcycle folks get treated because it comes installed on the bike.
Yeah.
It's built in, but most bikes out there require the installation of just a pigtail that hooks to the battery. Now, most of your chargers, they're going to come with it. This one comes with this pigtail. It also comes with a set of alligator clamps. That's pretty common with most chargers. So you'll get one pigtail. If you need extra pigtails, you can buy those separately. Like if you want to buy one charger and you own 3 bikes, just buy a charger and 2 pigtails.
I know you can
cover your bases.
You can go to Amazon and buy it, that kind of the
Oh, yeah.
hookups. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think I
And-
have like 2 or 3 sets of alligator clips and 2 or 3 of these other things.
And
All my toolbox from over the years of.
I end up putting it on
tenders.
everything. I take the battery out of my lawnmower because it's kind of similar to a motorcycle
I do
battery.
mine too, actually.
I set it on the shelf. I put the alligator clips on it, and I put it in the rotation with the rest of them because I don't know. I don't want to buy $100 batteries every
It's a
time I turn
lead acid
around.
battery.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
Well,
you
now
know,
see, I
simple.
removed mine. I take mine out of the tractor right before on my last cut.
Yeah, that's
so,
what I'm getting ready to do too.
Yeah.
Get ready to take that battery out. And I actually got a generator. I do that too, and I can take it in and out. And when I need to put the power on, because it just snaps right on my generator to start it up. But because you never know if the generator doesn't start up because your battery's dead. I mean, it doesn't going to do you
Kind
good.
of screwed.
It's a non-serviceable generator.
So you mentioned something there. You have a rotation. I mean, how many bikes do you have?
Enough.
Enough. Okay. His wife is outside. That's all I can say.
She's part of the problem. So
Oh man,
if
you
I'm
can't say that on TV, man.
full disclosure, no, she'll admit it too. Full
Okay.
disclosure between the two of us. I'm proud of myself. I sold one.
Oh, okay.
I sold a motorcycle. We're down to 16.
Oh, my.
Holy
down to.
cow!
You
He's
can't
got
talk-
you beat.
Okay,
He's got
nobody-
a dealership in his garage.
Nobody can talk about me anymore.
Remember that picture I sent that one day
Yeah.
in school, and like 25 bikes in his freaking
so-
garage.
yeah.
This is that dude.
That's it. This is the guy.
I've never had that many. I think my record is 7 at one time.
Holy smokes, man! That's crazy.
I think mine was 6. So you got me.
I think my wife has more than I do at the moment.
Wow.
Okay, I want to test your memory. Can you name all 16 right here, right now?
That's where it gets difficult. I think it's 5 KTMs, 3 Hondas, some weird stuff. Like I got a Husaberg, I have a Beta. I can't remember everything else.
We got 6 more to go.
Yeah, I know. There's
Oh,
so
okay.
many.
Just keeping track.
Yeah, we'll
It's
let
absurd.
you go. Tracy, why would you ask him something like that?
Dude, I want to know. Like,
Put
I
him on
want,
the spot.
Well,
Because you got competition now.
I know. I want to know what's he sporting out there. Yeah.
What's that? You got a question? Okay.
So, what if she just got her bike? So, what if she doesn't get to the miles where it's broke in? What do you do?
Then she's fine then
What
on
do
that.
you do different? Do you do
Yeah.
anything different if it's not broke in yet?
So-
Do you want to let it set all season with not being all the way broken in?
That's a good question, actually.
So
Make sure you put the stabilizer in your fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you keep the battery up, and I would recommend pumping your tires up a little extra.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as changing the oil, that's part of your break-in service, and I would recommend going out to the mileage for your break-in service. You really want to spend that time with that break-in oil in the engine. It's
Oh, yeah, you're right.
the break-in
Yeah,
oil is it's designed to allow for a slight amount of wear more than normal, because when these brand new parts that are rotating together, they're actually when they're mated parts, they become what we call married, and basically, yep, kind of similar thing. You just wear on each other
Yeah, you
until
just wear on each
until you accept each other.
Until you
Heather
break.
wears,
We need an oil change.
Heather wears on me a lot.
This podcast is going to get us in trouble.
Break-in mileage is going to depend on the manufacturer. For Indian motorcycles, it's 500 miles. For most of your non-American made stuff, in fact, most non-American made stuff, it's actually 620 miles, because that's 1,000 kilometers.
Okay, she has a Can-Am Spider.
So if it's a Can-Am Spider, I would guess it's probably 1,000 kilometers or 620 miles. But I would also just refer you to your owner's manual.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Todd Morris had a comment for you.
What's that?
He said, Aaron, they have
Meetings for that.
meetings for that.
They're here at Indian on Thursday nights, and there's so many people here. They have like 6 of these tables. Yeah, and they're full.
That's funny.
You got to sign up. There's a waiting list. All right. So, what else we got here in the winterizing part? Have we missed anything?
I think we've covered all
Cover.
that.
You need to cover the
Yep.
bike.
Yeah,
Cover
the bonus. That's the bonus question right there. I was waiting. Good. All right, the bonus, not bonus
I'm
question.
paying attention.
That's right. So we did have a bonus. We talked about 5 things, kind of. I think it was 5. So we talked about this. We talked about, washing and waxing. We talked about the oil change. Okay, that's 3. We talked about this. Okay, and then we had the 5th one. What was that? Rotating your bike.
We
back and
talked
forth.
about we talked
Tires.
about the tires, yeah.
Yeah.
Tires. Yeah.
And the
So,
bonus.
so now you're on number 6,
and the bonus. yes.
covering the bike.
Covering the bike. Now, people are going to be thinking we're crazy, right? But there's dust out there. Okay, and it's
Yeah, go out and
it's
look at my car.
and it's landing on a lot of things.
You know what's funny is I literally spent my whole day off a week or so ago cleaning my car, and I used the ceramic spray. It was beautiful. The next morning I go out to get my car, and I'm like, well, shit, I just wasted my time. It looked like I never even washed it.
Yeah.
Well, I do have a full cover. It goes fender to fender, and I do put that on the bike when it's in the garage for the winter. It's nice for me when I go out there. It's clean. I jump on. Might need to dust it a little bit, but it does keep it in pretty good shape.
Yeah, it keeps cats laying on your seats if you got cats in your house, because they like leather, and they like you're in the garage and it's warm. Some people do have heated garages.
I'm
but-
not that
but-
luxury, yeah.
But animals and that kind of stuff keeps it out of there.
Yeah, I was going to say pest control.
Yeah.
That's a big thing to add to your cover. Whether you want to do as simple as like old school mothballs, setting out mouse traps, things like that. That is crucial. The last thing you want to do is have a rodent nest in your air filter box, or heaven forbid they chew on the wires.
Yeah.
Like that. That's an expensive repair. You're going to have to call your insurance company over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the Roadmaster, one thing we didn't cover was leather care.
Oh, yeah,
we do
yeah.
have a leather seat. I think it's called Leather Honey, if I remember right. It just very little bit of it. It's an oil that you put on. You coat the entire seat with it. You let it sit for about 24, 30 hours, and then you just go out and you just buff it off.
I actually saw that stuff at your house.
Yeah, and it keeps the leather moisturized, keeps it soft, and avoids cracking, things like that. So would recommend doing that prior to putting the bike up too. I do my seat several times throughout the summer.
And it lasts a long time because he has a
It does.
bottle he's had 20 years.
No,
Yeah.
not quite that long. But it does take very, very little. Very, very little. It is an oil.
Yeah. So, and in the springtime, we'll come back here and we'll talk about what we need to do to get our bikes back on the road safely. Because, I mean, a lot of things can happen over winter when they're just sitting in the garage and that kind of stuff. But, yeah, I think updates to software, all that kind of stuff. Because I don't know what Indian's going to be coming out, but I'm sure they're going to have some updates. They use it every 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, that new software for the Challengers is supposed to help keep from draining batteries down from sitting.
Yeah.
They're pretty notorious for it. The Challengers are.
Now, to go into that, because the Challenger, I know somebody has a Challenger that, they finally did get the update because they got the GPS modular, but a lot of people, if they have a limited and they're like pre-23, I guess, they don't have the CarPlay. I guess you have to have the new update to have the CarPlay, but you can do a workaround with it if you just do a USB to cord phone and get CarPlay. So a lot of people are really adamant not to do any upgrades for the software. I mean, can you speak to some of that?
I can't for you. One, I'm
Yeah.
like bad with technology.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I'm just saying
really bad
updates
with
are
it.
good for bikes, right?
Right.
I mean, or they're not trying to,
But I can understand people's apprehension
Yeah.
because if we go away from motorcycles, I don't update any of my phones ever.
yeah.
My wife's an engineer, so she's constantly yelling at me for it. But I'm always like, hey, that's planned obsolescence, right?
Yeah.
You do an update and all of a sudden your battery doesn't last as long.
Yeah.
So I can't really speak to it, but what I do know is some of our customers have used the plug-in wireless adapters for CarPlay, and they've been running Android Auto on them.
Okay.
And I've seen issues out of them. And I think that the issues that we're seeing out of them is because usually these are products made in China. They're not made to a high standard, and they're causing some sort of, I don't know if they're getting backfed voltage into the system, but we've had to go so far as we've had to replace some infotainments because of
Wow.
it. So just be aware of that and understand that if it's not a good quality product, if you're getting it from one of those silly Chinese sites, the Wish, the Temu. All those places, I would probably say it's not a good product.
That's where Tracy gets all his parts from.
Yeah, I mean, it checks out.
For the royal mess.
Yeah.
So I have a comment for Les.
What was that?
Actually, I get most of my parts from India because they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where they make
What?
them. So
What is the comment for Les?
Says, do you use California Duster? What's that?
California Duster. I apparently not, because I'm not exactly sure what it is. I use a lot of spray
Look it up,
spray
Tracy.
wax and microfiber towels. I buy the microfibers in bulk.
What is the
Walk
stuff? What is the stuff that you like? What is it? I mean,
Uh,
let me
it's
put that in
called,
the chat.
Called Wash All Wax All.
Wash all, wax all.
Yeah, you can buy it by the gallon. You can get it on Amazon,
Oh, yeah, it's one of these guys.
and you can dilute it. You can actually use it like as a car wash, I don't know, soap or whatever you want to call it. You can dilute it, use it that way. It'll give you a little bit of wax coating.
Yeah.
I use it straight out of the bottle and just spray it right onto the surface after I've cleaned it. And you can wipe it down, then you flip the rag over and you can buff it out. It comes out really, really
now,
nice.
what brand is it that you're using?
It's called Wash All Wax All.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a
Okay.
link in the actual thing here.
I use what's called Flowgenics. I don't know if you've heard of that or not, but it's pretty good stuff too.
Yeah, Tracy signed up to be a what is it called with them?
Ambassador?
Ambassador or something?
Oh.
Yeah, should be.
Does it matter? Is it good on all finishes? Like Chris has a different type of finish on his bike.
I've used it. He just refilled my bottle because I was lazy and I get some. But yeah, I've used it and it does work.
Yeah, so I actually use it on the interior of my car, like the dash and the gauges, the seat trim, center consoles, doors, all of that. Yeah, right down to the hood and the wheels of the car. I use it on everything.
And Lenny says that the adapters are trash.
Most of
I,
them,
I would personally, if it was my bike,
Yeah.
I wouldn't run one.
Yeah, I actually do run one. One's like I use a Quad Lock. It's the name of brand, but
Oh,
it
you
goes-
actually tried the Quad Lock out?
yeah,
I was curious about that one.
yeah, I do
Now,
have
Quad,
that one.
Quad Lock is a brand that I respect, so
Mhm.
like I would think they would make a decent product.
I got to keep updating it. I mean, it does restart sometimes, but I think it's every single one of them does that. It's like there's something with the system in my car. It does the same thing, but it's
I think
like,
that's something with Apple, though.
well, I think
Probably.
I think so, because
Yeah.
my wife has the same problem in her car.
Yeah,
It
I-
constantly restarts.
yeah, it's probably what it is. But the Quad Lock I use, I just actually put a tutorial on the website today because last night at 3 a.m. somebody made a comment on one of our videos with the Quad Lock one and asked what my setup was. And I said, you know what, this morning that's what I did. I just did a step-by-step what I did to install it. Because you got to buy a couple things, not just a Quad Lock. You got to buy like a wireless adapter and plug that in. It's because it's like a transformer.
I
It
love
fix
Quad
it out.
Lock. I mean, I have it on all my
Yeah.
stuff, but
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like they should just sell the kit and have everything that you need. But here, they sell each individual piece for everything.
Well, every bike's different. But I did reach out to them,
Oh, here we go. This is gonna be funny.
and they said that we wasn't our podcast wasn't part of their future. So I don't know what that meant.
That was their comment.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, we don't think we go to we're not going down the same highway.
We're going to have to look for another brand name of
Yeah.
adapter, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
But yeah, that was about 6 weeks ago too. I wish I could probably bring up the email with
So,
these
so
back.
basically, in a roundabout way,
We
they're
didn't have
saying,
enough subscribers.
You're too small for us.
Well, too, if you're using the wireless adapter and all that stuff, and you're really kind of tricking that infotainment system into thinking that you have a headset, is there some liability
Yeah.
with their product being used in that manner? They
Yeah.
may be looking at that piece too, saying, yeah, we don't want to endorse any of that.
Well, I mean, what was that Glennie did his text? Hey, buddy, hope everyone is having a good night. Little
Well,
nippy outside, yeah, it is.
Aaron did ride the scooter, so he's gonna have a chilly ride home.
I hope it has heated seats.
I got heated gear.
Heated gear.
You're gonna need it.
Do you have heated gloves and everything?
Yes.
What do you think about them?
It's the way.
That's the way?
Absolutely.
The way of the future?
I feel like we were on a Star Wars show there for a minute. It's the way.
So, not all our viewers are from the north, okay? There is some southern, some in California, some in Atlanta, Georgia, and stuff like that that's reached out to us. Now, some of them probably won't store their bike, but it does get nippy sometimes, right? So you have heated gear. Now, how long does it last? I mean, how long can you ride on a bike
So
with gloves and stuff?
mine plugs into the bike. So
okay.
as long as the bike is running, I've run a full heated gear setup, heated troller. It's a 2-channel troller that you can separate the different articles of clothing into 2 channels. So my jacket and my gloves are on one channel. My pants and my socks are on another channel. You can independently control those.
Nice.
Basically, if it's below 50 degrees, I'm probably going to wear them. Then it's 50 degrees all the way down. The coldest I've ever ridden is 6 degrees. And then and then all the way up from there. How I describe how heated gear feels is 60 and above, you don't need it. In the 50s, it's like that in between weirdness. You might feel comfortable with it. You might be hot with it. So I leave it. I'll be wearing it in the 50s, but I may not have it turned on.
Wow.
And then once it gets below 50s, it's on. And then obviously the colder it gets, the higher I crank it. At 30 degrees, if I go full crank, it feels like I'm riding it at about 75 degrees. Is about what it feels like.
Wow. That's
I got to check into some of that.
yeah. So it's a whole unit. So you wear the same brand all the way through your whole body. It's all connected, right?
Mine is the same brand, but most of them use like standardized 12-volt adapters for them. So you can usually mix and match brands. Mine happens to be the brand First Gear, but First Gear's kind of like not, they're in business still, but it's been this weird transition. So the other big brand in heated gear is the starts with a G.
No. Oh. Tracy, you should know everything.
I've looked at it
blanking on
before,
right
but I
now.
can't remember.
You can look it up. I mean, your phone's on. I can tell. It keeps on going off.
I should know because
Gator?
Parts Unlimited just picked them up. Now there's been a huge influx of battery-powered heated gear,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up buying this battery-powered glove, and I really, really liked it for when it was like 40 degrees in the morning, but like 65 in the afternoon, because then it worked well for just a commute to work. But if you're trying to like go out for a day ride when it's like in the 40s to 50s, the battery lifing on that glove was like, in most of the other battery powered gloves that I've found, they'll claim like a 4-hour battery life. That's on like the lowest setting, no heat. If you're using it at a moderate level, expect an hour to hour and a half of battery life.
So was Gerbing?
Gerbing, that was it.
There we go.
Yeah.
They see
There's a use for me.
there's an
I'm telling
investment
you.
in you. I tell you that. All right.
Tracy is now known as Mr. Google.
That's what I'm good at.
Yeah. So it looks like Todd got something else here. What's he got? I am getting older and I'm turning into a sissy. Sorry about that. I got to put you on podcast. If it's above, below 50, I think is what he's saying. He's not riding.
I don't blame him. I'm with him. I'm the same way.
50, he's out.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of cross country riding, and whenever I cross country ride, even like I'll leave in like July,
Yeah.
and I'll take my heated gear with me. Usually I'll put it on crossing the Rockies. It's weird, but like every time I've crossed the Rockies, from like Kansas City to Grand Junction, it's like 40 degrees out. And then as soon as I get up and over the mountains,
That's what you're riding home in today.
yeah, no problem. Once I get to Grand Junction, it's 80 degrees, beautiful, pull the gear off, ready to go. So whenever I do cross-country trips, always carry rain gear, always carry heated gear. That way I'm covered on all bases. Otherwise, it really
Well, yeah,
sucks.
when you get into mountain areas, man, you can be 75 degrees down at the bottom and be up the top and be 50 or
Easily.
45.
Yeah,
you know?
easily.
Yeah. We, friend of mine and I went up Pikes Peak, and I think we got up there that afternoon. It was 31 or 32 degrees.
Yep.
You know, 70 down below, but freezing up top.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And in those kind of situations, like, and you don't think much of it until you're exposed to it for 2 hours, and then you're like, this really sucks.
Well, the problem with our brains is our brains go with what we were, and we think that we're great, and we're not thinking about what we're gonna be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
You want to be comfortable now, but you're going to be
Right.
really uncomfortable
Right.
later.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
It's going down because when we went to Gatlinburg, or actually Gettysburg, there was a couple areas when we were going up there. We was going into the hills on our way up there. It was kind of chilly, but when we went to Gatlinburg, sorry, and we went up to the Cleveland's Dome. Okay,
That's what I was going to talk about.
and we knew that it was nice and comfortable, 70 degrees. When we went up there, it was like almost snowing.
Yeah.
And that's people were riding bikes, and I guarantee you, some people were riding bikes up there, and they wasn't prepared.
They were not prepared for it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're changing the name. It's not going to be Klingman's Dome anymore. Have you
Oh,
seen
really?
that? Yeah.
No, are they really?
Yeah, you have to Google it and see. They're changing it.
That's
I did not know
ridiculous.
that.
I believe a Native American name is what they're going with now.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah. So what else we got here? I know next week we're gonna be here. I guess we're gonna do some Halloween. You okay with that, Aaron? I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And then November 5th we're gonna be here with what's his name? Billy Meinster, I think that's right.
Bill Meister, yeah.
Bill Meister.
I think Junior is who you'll be with.
Junior? Okay.
Yeah, he's if memory serves correct, he's like ex-AMA pro road racer.
Yep.
Like, I mean, he's the real deal.
Yeah.
So he and I've ridden with him at the racetrack a couple of times, and he's a great guy. He'll
Yeah.
do whatever you need. He flipped a set of tires for me at the racetrack. Like, I mean, he's glad to lend a hand.
Wow. And he's part owners of
Balance Dynamics, yes.
Yep. And they do the teaching classes around here. And Heather just went to one of them.
Now, is he going to be here
Sure.
next week? Is that what you're saying?
November 5th.
Oh, November 5th. Okay.
Yeah.
A couple weeks.
And I do have I get with the Michigan Biker podcast. We got him as a guest. We might do him the 3 days before Halloween. I'll
Okay.
see if I can get him on here on that. And see if he's open. Wait,
I want to say Les's name it's pronounced Ku Wo He, and it's spelled Kuwohi.
There you go.
And that's going to be the new name for Klingman's Dome. Very interesting.
Klingman's a lot easier.
Kuwohi.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You were talking about balance dynamics. You know, and Heather just did her course. They the second day they all had to kind of gather around, have an intervention with Heather, get her to slow down.
She was going that fast, huh?
Just squealing the
Look
tires.
at her eyes.
Going outside the line, squealing the tires.
Hey, Heather, do you have a blanket for the couch? He's going to need it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, if anybody's got any questions on Facebook or anything like that before we go, we got, I think we got, what time is it?
It's 8:26.
8:26. We got like 6 more minutes. And then we pack this thing up so I can get Aaron home. He does have a print. You want to talk about that 401 over there, that brand new bike?
The smart
The
pilling.
smart pilling over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a ground up bike. That's so motor's new, frame's new, suspension, brakes, everything on that bike. Complete updates. Finally, the bike comes with a TFT dash. The motor is technically more displacement by like 26 cc's, but it's the same horsepower, and that's a trend across motorcycling right now. In order to make the same horsepower, they're having to increase the engine size because there's new emissions clamping down on it.
Right.
So that's why you keep seeing these engine displacements going up, but the power's not necessarily going up. It's because they're just trying to overcome the emissions choke down.
It's going to get tougher and tougher.
Is it at the same height? Because it looks a little lower than the older ones.
It is a little bit lower.
Okay, that's what I thought.
The other thing too is I have a used older one sitting over there against glass. It's funny how much bigger the bike is. So it's lower, but like the whole rear subframe actually has room for a passenger.
Yeah.
Where the old one was just tiny.
Oh, I like the new design. I was
So
checking it out.
it's a lot more practical of a design while still keeping that same like Scrambler look aesthetic to it.
It looked like the tires were smaller too. Am I missing something?
I think
on
it's just
that?
because the subframe's bigger.
Just makes it look.
So it just makes it look
different.
smaller,
Okay. Okay. See, my eyes catch it. I just want to see if you
That's
got it.
because you're looking for a couple more bikes because this guy's got
dude. I could
18.
stay in here all day looking at bikes, and he knows it. He's seen me here do it before.
Because we've got a beautiful backdrop again this evening.
I mean,
Yeah,
look at it.
absolutely.
Yeah, look at all this.
Absolutely.
The beautiful bikes bikes back here, ready for owners, man. Owners.
Especially the two all the way back, the two 101s.
They got two 101s.
Somebody's
back
got
there.
to come
I'm
down.
surprised they ain't gone.
Somebody's got to come out here and buy one of those. Those things are gorgeous.
I know interest rates are
Well,
getting better.
We've sold a couple of them. I don't remember which one's the freshest one, but they're both pretty fresh.
Well, the red one's the freshest one.
You would know.
I do know.
He has their inventory memorized.
I do. I look at it daily, man.
Wow.
The red
yeah,
one is
so
the
you start
newest one.
seeing-
The white one I think you've had for just a little bit.
I think.
But you sold a white one,
Yeah, we
too,
sold
though.
a white one.
You sold a white one.
I'm pretty sure those are both less than a month.
Lenny's
I
got
think
a
so.
comment
Yeah,
from
I think you're right.
guys
What's that?
said to
What?
have Aaron help Tracy trade in that Harley.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Tracy
yeah.
needs to trade in that Harley.
It's I talked to him about this a couple hours ago. It'll happen eventually.
Eventually. So I like this dark horse right here, and I also like that chieftain back here. With
I like that maroon chieftain.
that-
I
that's what I'm
thought
talking
that
about,
was
yeah.
a sharp color.
that's a beautiful bike.
And it's one of those ones that the two-tone, the stripe that's through it, you look up close and the stripe's actually made up of little tiny Indian heads.
Yeah.
And I always love that little detail. That's such a cool little
It's
detail.
beautiful.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So, any questions? Anything? Nothing. Is Jennifer or nobody's out there watching for us?
No.
They're fired. Jennifer, you guys are fired.
Now you know they have a busy schedule.
They're social media experts though.
Yeah, but they have a busy schedule.
Ride with Purpose is on here. He just got on.
Oh.
Yeah. So welcome to the podcast.
We're late tonight, he said.
Yeah, we got kind of behind there. There was a guy named David Comer.
That's me.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I said hi, David. I forgot. Sorry, Aaron. Let's see here. I'm going through here. I'm not able to see Facebook, but they are. So, but anyway, yeah, we're almost done here. We are done. We are toast.
Cooked already.
What?
You're cooked.
We're cooked. All right. Well, we'll see you here back next Tuesday here. We're gonna probably do it at 7:00. It's okay with you, Tracy?
I was actually hoping earlier. Can we do it earlier? So, because I'd like to see some of his group here, if possible.
His group.
It's a Halloween party. We're gonna have a bunch of people. We want to have a bunch of people here.
Oh my
Come on,
gosh.
man.
I'm only coming for the candy.
You can absolutely set up early.
Yeah, we can set up early. So we'll see what we can do. And you can't make it the week after, right? Because it's
What?
closer to Halloween. You can't, the 22nd. What is it, 22nd, I think?
I'm on vacation next week. I can do whatever
I'm
we
talking about
need.
the following week.
I don't know. I haven't seen that schedule
Okay.
yet. I don't
So
know.
our Halloween one, what's that?
You wear your costume a little early.
Yeah, we're gonna wear it early.
You wore it a little early.
Yeah, that's why we're doing the Halloween thing next week.
Yeah. So with Halloween, okay.
I got to keep him on track. He doesn't.
The
know.
Halloween thing is next week. I'm going to put the schedule actually on Facebook and on the website. But yeah, Halloween's next week, and then we just got some kind of crazy one. We'll do the week of Halloween, since something quick. We won't be here, so you guys won't
Right,
worry.
right.
And then we'll do the Indian one with
On November 5th.
November 5th.
Here,
Yeah,
probably.
and then we'll have to get another. Maybe we'll get the Indian lady here. Maybe is that possible?
Yeah.
We just won't put you on the spot. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
But
yeah, we'll lock it in.
yeah. All right. So I think that's about it. Les, you got anything? Have you covered everything?
I think so.
Hey, thanks.
Get those bikes winterized, and I think you'll be a lot happier next spring when you go out, hit the button, and rock and roll.
And thank you for coming in.
Oh, you're
You had-
welcome.
You had
You're welcome.
tons of
Anytime.
information.
Anytime.
And Aaron, you're always the best. I mean, he's almost like a
He's an encyclopedia. To
Encyclopedia.
Stuff, man.
He's
He knows-
almost-
Yeah.
he's almost
well,
part
both
of
of
it.
them are really.
yeah.
They know way more about the stuff than we do.
Oh, I know. That's the reason why we come here. And we didn't really talk about the dealership though. If you want to take 2 or 3 minutes about what you guys do back here.
So we're slowing down in service. So if you need some service, we don't have long wait times. There's some specials going on. I don't know the service specials offhand, but I do know that we are running a few specials. All winter long, we kind of open up the service scheduling. We'll take in bigger projects. So if you want to do big sound system project, you want to do big cams in your Thunderstroke, whatever you'd like to do, it definitely opens up it back there. As far as the sales side of things go, pay attention in November. The 25s are going to be announced. If you're into the other brands, KTM has started announcing this month a few of the 25 Street line, so you can keep that in mind. Royal Enfield, they kind of release all year long, so they don't really have necessarily a model year release at a certain point. But I will expect some new colors to come out within the next month or two. And
And they
we
got
are,
that Gorilla reveal coming out. We should see that next year, right?
yeah, probably early next year, like spring. Then we are anything that's left over, 24 model year left over. It's all on blowout on sale. If you're in the market, we'd love to move some metal. So please come see us.
Right. And if you could give me a kind of advance notice, we can do it live here and do the unveiling of the new 25s here at this dealership.
Yeah,
also.
absolutely. We
Yeah,
could do
I'll,
that.
I'll
yeah.
give you a date, a more nailed down date.
That would be
That would-
awesome.
that would
Actually,
be fun. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll try to. I'll coordinate something with you.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people out there that make videos about this stuff, but not a lot of people don't do live.
Right.
Yeah, so
That's true.
yeah, and we'll invite anybody we want to, even less again.
I'll be here. Well, Heather probably won't let me attend because the new 25s will be out. She'll make me stay home.
But you
I
got
do
you got to
know-
get off that couch
I-
first. 'Cause
I do know I want an elite.
You're gonna be on the couch.
That's all
I
that
know.
matters to me. I do want an elite. So, all right. So that's it, folks. Everybody have a good night. Let's get this guy Aaron home, and let's get this thing unpacked or packed up. Sorry, packed up.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah. Everybody have a good night.
Yeah,
Go ahead and
have a
end
good
that.
night.
End it. End it. End it. End it. Oh my God.